Welcome to the Talk Nerdy to Me Backer Pause crossover, as we're currently live on Kickstarter. But what I'm going to do is play the intro, talk to the TikTok audience, and then show you who today's guest is. So, guest is, I'll be right back. Welcome to Backer Pause, where creators bravely put up their projects to be judged by others, to see if their title, their description, their image, and their video can get through the experience of Backer Pause. What is Backer Pause? Backer Pause is when you suddenly find a reason that you might not pause or you've lost interest in a project. So join us as these campaigns are put through the ringer of the Backer Pause jury and judges. Tune in and tell us if you experience Backer Pause in the comments. Brought to you by comicbookadvocates.com, where the love of comics comes first, and hosted by Mr. Anderson, the comics writer who creates stories that travel the realms of fetish monsters and more, and the more is ever expanding. And then we're going to play warning and disclaimer. The views and opinions expressed on this live feed are those of the guests, speakers, and or hosts, and do not necessarily reflect the beliefs, official policies, ethics, or positions of the content providers, advertisers, additional hosts, and or guests, hosting sites, groups, or entities attached to this programming. Viewer discretion is advised. All right, so here we are. Matt, welcome back to the show. It's changed a little since you've been here, as you just
heard. I love it.
Yeah, we've gone a little bit more into the reasons people might hit pause, but no one's going to hit pause on your project. We're going to watch the video in just a few minutes. We don't know what the crossover between TikTok and videos are, so we're gonna talk for a few minutes before we get there. But talk to me. How's it been since the last issue? Catch me up. How are we doing?
Things are going great. We have so last Kickstarter campaign we just did absolutely phenomenal, and so we took that extra backing support and funneled it into a creative team, expanding the creative team so that we could make better books faster. So one of the first big additions was having an interior colorist, which is Amazing Colors by Robert Nugent. And then that allowed me to completely just focus in on detailed line art, which is what I really love doing. Very influenced by like Zach Howard and just really detailed, line artists. Then we also got some special cover artists. And as I say in my video, I was really blessed to be able to work with Alex Sinclair to do the cover of this issue. And so now we're out on issue 8, and the characters are up in Scotland. So if you are of Scottish heritage or like Celtic mythology, you're really going to enjoy this book. And they end up fighting demons and coming together as a group, family. It's just a fun, exciting, and mature rated book. And this is the best one we've made yet.
And now, of course, I know for Trish, who probably will be showing up, and Mike, they always ask, you can get the back issues on this, right?
Oh, you know it. So yeah, as you can see, we're all the way up to issue 8. Issues 1 through 6 was sort of a collected book, or collected into a trade paperback. But due to popular demand, we were asked to have some of the individual issues because some people had been collecting them since the beginning. So for this campaign, something new that we've done is we're introducing reprints of all the old issues with new covers from various different artists. And the plan is that each time we release a new issue on Kickstarter, we're going to re-release the old issues with new limited edition covers. So you could end up with several copies of these books, each one with a different cover, each one very limited run, and often even numbered. So we got some special guests, cover artists like Bob Hall, very well-known Marvel artist who used to work with Stan Lee, is on the cover of issue 1. And then Jason Mintz is on the cover of issue 3. Issue 2 was drawn by me, but colored by Tommy Shelton. And then issue 4 was another one that I did. Issue 5 is some newcomers who have really knocked it out of the park, Clever Lima and Antonio Diaz. And then issue 6 was probably one of our most popular covers, being brought back by Skylar and colored by Jesse. And that cover is also being offered as an art reward backer bonus when we hit, I think it's 100 or 150 backers. And then lastly, we have issue 7. And issue 7 starts a new story arc. So you could theoretically start at issue 7 and just get 7 and 8 if you wanted. It's just the second chapter. And so when this arc ends, we'll collect that one into a trade as well. So just continue moving forward with this. This is my passion project. I mean, this is obviously a kilted, warrior. I made this because I didn't see enough kilted, characters, heroes in comics, and I also wanted to draw monsters and demons. So I put this book, together slowly over the years, and it just keeps growing and getting better. There's more Celtic mythology, there's more foul language, there's more violence, there's more sexiness. Issue 7 saw a lot of Riley Scott, a lot of her. I don't think you could see much more of Riley Scott when we show in issue 7.
Now, I want to first congratulate you. 8 issues is a big deal when you're doing it independently. You don't really hear of independent creators getting past issues number 3 or 4, to be honest.
Thank you.
Getting a number 5 is already something different. So kudos to you on for that. And give us the pitch. Let's say that someone doesn't know what this is. You're at a Comic-Con. Someone just walks up to you. How would you pitch this book?
So I have 2 pitches. The first one is the super short version, and we just say demons, dames, and a Scotsman with a blade. And that's actually like on some of our big banners. But the slightly shorter pitch is basically that Mythica is a dark fantasy comic where a kilted soldier and a sexy super spy band together with some allies to fight monsters and demons during World War I. So it has a little bit of a steampunk feel. It has some Outlander, Highlander kind of feel. And obviously, I'm a big fan of the show Supernatural. So there's a lot of influence there. In fact, my cat Sam is over here sleeping, and the other one, Dean, is over there sleeping. So yeah, big fan of that show. So yeah, I just amalgamated, the things that I love, and put them all together. And like I said, because of that, this project is passion. It's every page I'm putting, my all into. And I have, whenever it's a good time, I do have a page that I'm currently working on to show off, the details.
Well, why don't we say goodbye to our Kickstarter earnings, because for some reason I'm having some connectivity issue with it. I don't know what's up today with the TikTok. So I appreciate everyone who did get to tune in if they did, because I don't know what's going on with it. Hopefully we have the video. We can relaunch the video for different reels and all that. I appreciate the TikTok outings, but we're going to go to our other audiences. And if you want to know more, where can they follow you, Matt?
So on TikTok, I'm at Matt Campbell Art. On Facebook, I am at Matt Campbell Art, or Action Line Studios. Also on YouTube as Matt Campbell Art, Instagram as Matt Campbell Art. And obviously, I even have a Patreon, which has been a lifesaver, to be honest. That's patreon.com/Action Line Studios.
All right. Thank you, TikTok audience. For those who could hear us, that's what it is with live. You never know how it's going to react. So hopefully someone got to hear us despite the connectivity issue that we had. And we'll see you at backerpaws.com. Come check out these great projects. It's the one thing I hate about live is that, see, no internet connection right now. That's what it's telling me. Hopefully.
So, hey, what is your TikTok? Because I never got a notification that you
Mr. Anderson.
That's what I thought.
I'm telling you, I don't think it. I think that it had an issue this time. I'm just hoping it saves the actual video we made, and if not, I have it recorded here, so I could always just go back and download this and rip the stuff I have to from this. I think I had a problem with the app. That's just the nature of the business, right? Sometimes.
Yep. Yeah.
Best intentions and all. Don't go there. You know, it's an experiment. It's something new. We'll figure it out down the line. What I'd love to see it do is to actually be able to be integrated into StreamYard itself, so we could just have it go live from StreamYard. That would be awesome.
Do you spell out Mr.?
Yes, MIST. Same as I do up there, because there's some people who have the MR.
There it is.
Did it go live from your end? Did you see it at all? That's TikTok for you. I'm gonna mute my mic so I can look.
I don't know how to tell. If like once the
we'll look later.
Yeah.
We'll figure one way or the other. Either recorded it or we recorded it here. Yep. We'll get it up on TikTok. Don't worry. I'm crafty that way. So let's see the video, and then we'll check out that art you have, and then we'll check out some other campaigns.
Awesome. Okay.
All right. So let's hit your video, and this is without interruption. Let's go.
Welcome, Mythica Maniacs. This is the official launch of Mythica Issue 8. All right, Mythica Maniacs, I've got a lot to show you, but first, I want to share some exciting news about the cover. So for this issue of Mythica, I am super grateful and honored to have award-winning colorist Alex Sinclair on the cover. Alex has worked on hundreds of DC books, including Batman and Justice League with Jim Lee. When Alex agreed to collaborate, I immediately got to work on making a cover worthy of Alex's coloring skills. And I'm pretty proud of how it came out. I gotta say, I was not prepared for the awesomeness that Alex would bring. I love how he went with a blood moon instead of a traditional night sky. This cover is gonna be available as a virgin cover, a regular cover, and a holofoil cover. All right, so last campaign, the most popular cover was, of course, the naughty cover, which means, of course, we are gonna have another one this time. Check it out. This cover features Magnus McDraken and Riley Scott, and the colors are being done by the amazing Chuck Michael Obach, who colored this, and this, and this. Now, continuing on the theme of colorists, because teamwork makes the dream work, and I want to bring you the best quality books possible, Robert Nugent has been brought onto the team to do interior colors. With Robert fully crushing it on colors, I am able to focus my efforts into cramming each page with detailed line art, which is one of my favorite things to do. If you're new to Mythica, we have all 7 of the previous issues being reprinted for this campaign with variant covers. Our goal for this campaign is 300 backers, so please check out all the cool rewards below and see which one is right for you, and then do us a favor and share this campaign with your friends. Thank you.
That's a cool video. Awesome. And I did see that for some reason the TikTok videos messed up, so I decided to go live again. So we're going to see if this one works, and if not, I'll just give up. But the art you wanted to show me, that's safe for all the stream, right?
Where are you streaming to?
Facebook, Twitter.
I think. I mean, it shows like a little bit of gore, like someone's getting impaled.
Oh, that's fine. I was talking naughty bits.
Yeah, there's no naughty bits.
All right, so if you want to show it, yeah, let's bring it up. Let's take a look at some art.
All
and
right.
Yeah, here we go. People are actually joining us this time, so it must be working.
So yeah, I will share my.
He's going to share his screen. And
share?
Those of you just joining us, we tried doing this before. This is Talk Nerdy to Me, the backer pause edition. So this is special. We're going to see some great art. Ooh, look at that.
So this is one of the pages from the book. I'm just about done. I'm about to do the bottom panel here, but this is the level of detail that I'm putting into the book. I'll zoom in a little bit more here. So you can see that. Excuse me. I'm really into textures and lots of background details, and just I love all the little different splatters and textures and stuff like that. So I now get to focus on that since we have a colorist. And so in this scene, this vampire tries to bash Magnus over the head with this tool, and it does not go well for her. He's
I've seen your art in print, man. It is amazing. And you did that bigger formatted book, and that was just beautiful.
Thanks, man. I appreciate it.
Yeah, and this is real, like you said, the detail. You don't expect detail like this on a lot of the comics, especially the ones coming out of the indie sector. A lot of times there's no background, there's no texture to certain layers. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
It's like they're racing to put the book out. And I do understand that's how Marvel and DC started after all, right?
Sorry.
No, it's okay. So
yeah. I feel exactly the same. Like I see a lot of people who don't put much in the way of backgrounds, and one of the things I tell my students is that, like, I try to put some form of a background at least on one panel and every page to help remind the viewer of kind of the situational awareness of the room, and how far the characters are away from each other. But I like doing textures. I like doing backgrounds. Speaking of backgrounds, let me open up another one here. It's being slow, probably because we're live streaming. So you go to here.
And I was wondering, this is part of a show called Back or Paused. That's why you see us. This is StreamYard that we're currently in. For the TikTok audience who doesn't, it's like, why are there two faces on the screen? We are live. This isn't a pre-recorded thing. I'm literally holding this in my hand as we're going around.
That's awesome.
You guys can hopefully see this because we had trouble with the first. Oh my God, the art is beautiful, dude.
This is a colored version. This is a 2-page spread. And so again, you can see like a lot of time is spent into the backgrounds and putting details in. There's more animals in this book, I think, that I've ever drawn in a book ever. Because even on this page alone, we have the Highland bull and his wolfhound Augie. We have some ram, and these are called ram lambs. And then some puffins flying back here, and then just. I love doing all that kind of detail. It just sets the tone, makes the world feel real. And then, of course, we've got some Easter eggs hiding in here. Hopefully, you guys can catch what this Easter egg refers to. And then the colors. The coloring done by Robert is just phenomenal. It really brings out the work. And what I was looking for from Robert, I actually... after the last campaign, decided I want to get a colorist, but I went through several colorists trying to find one that was going to fit the tone of this book. And Robert nailed it because he captures that sort of, gray, overcast sky feel of Scotland, yet maintains the vibrant colors in the right places. And so he's really good also at creating atmosphere, like the way that he painted over the background line art to help create a separation between the foreground characters and the background characters. And it's just phenomenal coloring by Robert. And so, once I realized, he got this and he was understanding what we were going for, that allowed me to just really open up and tear into the details of the line art. And we've been having a fun time with it.
Yeah, I love the way he does that. What would it be, like a two-tone color from the front to the back to give that feel of distance that you really get off of his art?
Yeah.
And you don't see that a lot in comics. It's really well done, sir.
Yeah, he's doing a fantastic job, and I couldn't be happier. And now hopefully, you know, we have a colorist now. We have a letterer, Tim West from Danger Geek is doing lettering. This lettering that you see here is actually not his. That's a placeholder that I put in there just so I could see how it looks. But I learned a long time ago that like a good letterer can, you know, really take your comic from, you know, average to pro, or the other way around. It can take a really great looking comic and make it look amateurish if you have a bad letterer. So,
yeah, what is the old adage? Lettering should never be noticed but appreciated.
Yeah, yeah, absolutely, absolutely. It's all the little sound effects and stuff. It's really just crucial to the storytelling.
Definitely beautiful. Now, where can they get? Is there like a URL you have that they can get the TikTok audience quicker to get to it, or is it just?
So yeah, actually, if they go to my TikTok, Matt Campbell Art, there's a link in my bio that has a bunch of different links, but the very first one is the Kickstarter, and take you right to our support of this. There's also a link to the website where you can just buy back issues directly. I always have a boost in sales during Kickstarter, visits to the store and whatnot.
All right. Well, I'm going to take about our TikTok audience this time because it is
all right. Goodbye, TikTok.
To run this show and actually hold this. Check out baggerpaws.com for this full video. We'll see you all later. Enjoy the rest of the day, you talkers.
Check out Bagger.
All right, there we go.
There we go. Finally found the video on.
I think it was an internet connection, but you can never tell because when you're live.
Yeah, I think I know what you mean. I think I just lost you for a second. Uh-oh, we're live and we've lost the host. I have no control, so you guys are going to have to be stuck with me chatting about my comic. So they have to be stuck with me chatting. Little echo there. I think, Mr. Anderson, we lost you there. That's funny. So apparently his power just went out. He will be joining us again. So in the meantime, I'll give you guys another sneak peek at a page of Mythica. So again, we're talking about all the amazing coloring done by Mr. Robert Nugent. This is page 1 of the book, introducing the characters onto the page. And you can see here, again, Robert's just amazing at creating that distance and that atmosphere and separation between the foreground and the background. And it really just makes it look beautiful. And the color palette here with the greens and the yellows, just absolutely gorgeous and really fits to what I was wanting this book to feel like. All right, cool. So Mr. Anderson says he will be back. His power is out. That's too bad. So you guys can check out this comic at Kickstarter. Let me actually drop the link into the comment section here for you guys. There we go. We are less than, I think, $400 away from hitting goal. And remember that the more we surpass goal, the more I'm able to hire some special guest artists. And like I said, each campaign, we're going to have a new reprinting of the previous issues. So you can have a lot of different artists get their opportunity to be on the cover. So if you have a favorite artist and you think that they would fit, or if you are an artist, be sure and reach out and I will try to see what I can do about being on the cover. So let me take a look at another page here. And then if he doesn't come back after another page, I might have to sign out and let him come back. So this is page 2 of Mythica, obviously without the words. But again, look at that depth. Look at that. crispness. And here in the foreground is a little Easter egg for my girlfriend. This is our cat, or her cat, Trogdor the Burninator. She goes by Dory for short, but she's just an adorable little kitten. And one more animal that is in this book. There are more animals I've drawn in this book, I think, than any other book I've ever done. There's cats and Highland cows and bighorn sheep and puffins. And then, of course, we have the demons. But all right, guys, that's the sneak peek there. I don't see Rob popping back on, so I'm going to sign off. Thank you so much for joining us, and we might be back on in a little bit. So thank you so much. Actually, you know what? I don't know. I don't know if I can actually end. We'll find out.
See if Matt's around. And I'm going to tell Matt that I'm back on. Sorry, that kicked, I think, a lot of things off. I don't know what's going on. I might explain why we're having trouble with TikTok, too. All right. Here. In the meantime, I'll play a Cat Dad video as we try to catch up from this. So Cat Dad actually ends this Sunday. So Matt should be coming back in a minute. In the meantime. In the beginning, there were farts that hopefully taught some moral lessons about bullying. And now Team Cat Dad is back. And this time, we're trying to figure out what makes a hero. A story that examines popularity versus heroics while teaching children how real people can inspire heroic tales. The entire creative team is back for this powerful second tale of heroics, and we do have the usual rewards and such. Truly amazing covers, including a limited edition coloring book cover for the first time. But if you're a fan of Cat Dad and Supermom, you know it's about more than rewards. It's about the creator's autistic son Jax and his love for him and the stories he hopes inspires and guides him and hopefully the readers of these tales. It is about the human moments and the ability to entertain and bring the entire family together that matters to us. And a reminder of the power of imagination. I want to thank you for watching this video and hope you take a moment to look over the campaign for Cat Dad and Supermom, What Makes a Hero. And remember, we rise together through kindness. Please go to catdadandsupermom.com for more information about this campaign. All right, we're back.
We're back.
That was fun. Right as I was complaining, that wound up happening. I'm looking around. I'm like, why is everything dark, man? So we're back. So
Awesome.
sorry about that, kids. Yeah, but we're gonna start playing back or pause. So the new format is you're actually just gonna be given the titles, and you're gonna pick which one based on titles we're gonna look at next. So normally I'd let you pick apart Cat Dad, but I mean, obviously you know what Cat Dad is. Thank you. By the way, thank you. You shared it yesterday, so that one would be disqualified just by that.
Okay.
But for the record, Cat Dad has the title right now because I switch back and forth. Admiral Hero versus Team Cat Dad, an important fight over heroism. So now you're going to pick from the following list. Tell me which one really jumps out at you, and you're like, "Ooh, I want to know more about that." So we're going to teach using this method how important a title can be. Because remember, and I can show this right now, no matter what you do on social media, every so often, even when everything is done right, this winds up happening where an image goes away. So you can't always rely on an image. Sometimes for some silly reason, the images go away. Right. So we're gonna take a look at just the titles right now. So tell me, out of all the titles, what's the one you want to know more about? So we have Primal, the Jungle Warrior, number 7. Chimera, Island of Dreams. I always get that one wrong, name-wise. Mosavla, Thunder 3, Elsewhere, Volume 3. Kevin, a novel by Dan Nooks. Shimmering Basin, number 2. Empowered, Volume 2, an 84-page graphic novel. There's an Alien in My Toilet, all-ages sci-fi comedy. Legacy of the View, number 4, and Boots. Lords of Iron, Value Campaign. Caffeinated Hearts by Jonathan Hedrick and Stefano Cardasili. I know I'm pronouncing that wrong, and I apologize right now for that. Maddie and Spud, The Castle of the Lost Land. Echoes of Triumph. This one sounds pretty cool. It's Mythica, issue 8. So which one, out of just the titles, what really was like, ooh, what's that?
Well, I got to tell you, not mine. Hearing just the titles, something like mine or any kind of like fantasy made up name that you have no grasp of what it means doesn't have much of a hook. And so that's an interesting, lesson just to have the title convey your information. So
you know, Matt, I don't know if you know this, Twitter doesn't show the preview sometimes.
Yeah.
When you share it on Twitter, it just says the name sometimes. I don't know why. I haven't been able to figure out. It's a fluke. But it just sometimes would just be the literal title. That's what made me realize that we needed to change the show.
Yeah. So I think that, there was a lot of names there, but I think the ones that when you hear them, you get a sense of what is going on. Like there was one like there's an alien in my toilet. Like that immediately tells me what it's about, that it's probably comedic. It's probably youth, oriented, that kind of thing. Or in some of these titles, they add something on, like the first one you talked about, Primal. It said Primal and then, something about the jungle, after it. And so that gives me an idea that it's, probably this kind of an idea of what it is. It's probably got, some like jungle people and maybe dinosaurs and monsters. Yep, sure enough. Sexy girls looks like. So I think that that is a lesson learned. Like in my when I did my graphic novel, we had sort of a subtitle like that. It was called Mythica'd Darkness Rising, and that still gave you more of an idea, even just in the title, than Mythica by itself, because Mythica by itself just could mean almost anything. So I think it's important, like in these titles, to have something behind it. And I'm actually curious about that, and I'll open this up to you to answer and to the audience to answer, and how what your thoughts on this are. But as I said earlier, before we took a break, um, issue 7 started a new chapter, and this chapter, this book is going to be titled when it gets put together as a graphic novel. So this one was going to be called Mythica Cape Wrath, because that's where this is taking place at, and it sounds cool, and it's a real place, by the way. So my question to you and to the audience is that rather than saying Mythica issue 8,
warning. Sorry about that.
No, that's fine. Do you think that it would be better to say like Mythica Cape Wrath, issue 2, or something like that? Because on the cover it already has issue 7, issue 8. I can't change that, but I can change, the title or how it's being presented. So, what are your thoughts? What do you think?
I always like with Cat Dad and Supermom, it's not necessarily serialized. It's like a cartoon. You can pick it up anywhere it wants. But I like to try to mention series so there's more than one. I think that's a quick indicator. Like Mythica series continues with, and then you give the title of that issue. And I think every issue should have its own title. I've always been a fan of titling my issues. And if it's a story arc, you can always go like, the Jungle Warriors, Treachery,
Right.
Issue 1, like story arc 1.
No, I totally agree with that. I know, even like when you watch your favorite TV show, each episode has its own title. So that's a great point, and something I definitely will take to heart. I think I can definitely benefit from that.
You know what's funny though? Primal, the Jungle Warrior, really does well on their title. A lot of people have been interested in it. But then they're what I call the pitch. That next sentence should be your pitch. They put comic book. Like they were but this is a campaign that's obviously leaning heavy on the arcs. The art is just beautiful.
And well-known artists too.
Yeah. So there's definitely a lean. But if you're not seeing a preview image and no one knows what this is.
This is the one you're talking about. Is this the one you're talking about that has, almost softcore porn on the cover?
No. There were a few. Those are, I won't cover those because they push a little harder. It's like OnlyFans on Kickstarter for a cover.
Oh, okay.
Yeah,
I know there's some models on one or two of these covers.
Models are one thing, but like some of the things I've seen, some of these, like it's to a point where I'm surprised they haven't gotten flagged by Kickstarter. Let's put it that way.
Yeah.
And I make a book about fetish, so I am not the prude in the room. So.
Right. Yeah, I remember that. Yeah.
Yeah, so if I'm saying something that's generally because I think they are crossing a boundary with some of what they're doing and exploiting women, because they're literally taking a woman that has nothing to do with the project and now making them go into positions that's going to be on the internet forever. And these girls look young.
Right.
You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Yeah.
So I think I can see why this book is selling so well.
Yeah. I mean, and it's got good art. And it makes sense. And I've always said that, bad characters being, drawn naked never really surprises me. And it kind of almost goes with the character of a bad girl, right? Like she doesn't care. She'll use her looks. So it's more about how you treat, like even that. I mean, I'm sure, this sells really well, but to me, that would be too far. I'd never do something like that for Barbara.
Right.
Because I'd want Barbara to stay fictional. That's just a personal call on my part. Everyone is different. You know what I mean? But she's not in a bad position or anything like that. Like that's tasteful still.
Yeah.
But I've seen literally like things like, let's put it this way. I could have given her an exam on some of the things that I've seen. You know what I mean?
I know what you mean.
So
yeah, back to the point of backer pause. I do feel like, because like we talk about this in my class when we talk about the pitch and the sentence pitch, is there's a way to test your pitch to see how many points of intrigue it hits, and the idea is to reach as wide of an audience as possible, but the name alone sometimes is something that you're absolutely right is overlooked. If if it's something, we talk about that in the pitch. Like if you were to describe Star Wars to someone for the first time and use words like Jedi and things like that, they wouldn't know what that means. So you have to describe it as a young farm boy, goes and helps save a princess from the Galactic Empire, so that they know what the premise is without needing to know all the deep fantasy names.
Yeah.
And I think that falls into the titles as well. So it makes branding harder too. I know for me, I've struggled with that at shows. People come up and they're like, what is Mythica? Because it's just not right out of the gate clear. So it's something that is worth thinking about, boys and girls. Is their title should really let people know what your book's about.
And this is one that dragged you too. There's an alien in my toilet, all ages sci-fi comedy. The Pride of Uranus was sent to Earth on a recon mission. His plan was foolproof until he forgot to refuel. His name, Duty. So, I mean, like right there, you get this is coming out to be humorful. You know what I mean? Like that's
right.
You're either going to like it now or you're not. It's like when I said Cat Dad and Supermom was teaching morals with farts. There were some people that was it. They didn't want to know anything more because I mentioned the word fart. But more people thought it was funny. So you want to watch the video for this and see what you think of their video?
Sure.
All right. So they're going to be our first one. Remember, you can just raise your hand if you feel back or pause.
Okay.
So there we go.
Hey, I'm Samuel. And this is Duty. And this is Duty too. They're both Duties. Anyway, I'm the creator of There's an Alien in My Toilet, an all-ages slapstick humor comedy series that everyone in the family can have fun with. I created the series back in 2005, received a lot of attention, it did about 5 issues, and then I had to leave comics for a while. After 10 years, I decided that Duty and we had some unfinished business. So, basically, he is tasked with coming to Earth on...
What do you got?
I'm sure this is a good story, but I don't need to know all that backstory. I'm still trying to figure out what your comic is all about or your story is about. So I would get into that, maybe like chop it up and say, I worked on this for 10 years and come back to, the meat and potatoes. Cause I mean, I don't know if I'm the first person here to see that, I wasn't part of your previous campaign or whatever. I want to know, what this is first, and then, all the previous stuff second,
Excellent. I say it all the time. It doesn't belong in your Kickstarter. Your Kickstarter video, unless you're talking about the inspiration behind the campaign. Like I have one where I talk about Jax and why we created the book. That was in the middle of the campaign. That was on purpose because this was the middle of the campaign. This was the time to try to win over the people who were kind of on the fence, and it's now part of the project. And you keep these things in. But you, like you said, you start off and within 10 seconds, you don't wow me, I'm gone. I'm a remote culture. I'm going to click the button to go to the next video. TikTok has taught me someone's got 5 seconds to impress me. All right, that's it. I'm going to the next thing.
Yeah. I think, that's something we talk about at my class. And when we talk about graphic design is like a lot of students are just focusing on like making something have good alignment and good balance and, just sort of neatly organized pages. And I'm like, no, man, you need to capture people's attention in this day and age. So your page has to have an attention getting wow factor first to hook them in, and then they'll read the content. But all your organization and fancy fonts and all that stuff, it's not going to do it without that wow factor first. And you have to think about that now, no matter what platform you're using, whether it's video or a post on, a single image or an ad in a magazine. It all has to be fast. That's unfortunately just the nature of our world now.
And I will give credit. All ages is so much harder because you can't lean on jokes. You can't necessarily show, like there is no boobs in all ages comics, there are no quick tracks to getting people's wow moments. So I like Sam. He's a great guy. He's a very passionate guy, but I've said this about his past videos. Get into it. Hit me with the story. Get me to stay after to see why I just like the video.
Well, and I got to tell you, the video that I made in the past, I've spent some times with some video editors, and we kind of made sort of a motion graphic comic thing with music, and so I didn't have to appear on the camera at all. But this time, I was pressed for time. I needed to get it out there and get it made, and I couldn't spend a lot of money on editing. Video editing can get really expensive, so I said, "Hey, you know what? I'll be on the camera a little bit, and then I'll cut to the art, and then I'll talk over the art while I'm showing it. But it's got to be moving and fast, and keep moving." So I took so many takes and kind of edited them all together so that there's no breaks. And there, I would go back and be like, that doesn't have any energy to it. Let's go back and re-record that. And it took me a couple days of just me in front of this camera, like trying to be enthusiastic and, hey, well, how's it going? So that it put out the energy that I wanted it to have. And I think that that's important because it's, if you're not enthusiastic, they're not going to be enthused, and I think that that's important.
One time I'm just gonna make a video of me yelling like crazy Eddie. Just really amped up. Back it. How it goes. See what people
Love it.
think.
Yeah.
Okay, so you're gonna get to pick the next one based solely this time. You're gonna base this solely on the pitch. So here we go. I'm not gonna tell you, some of them are gonna be obvious, but like
how many are you gonna give me?
You have 7 left right now.
Okay.
7 or 8.
I'm gonna try to keep track of them here.
Well, it's supposed to be just what drags you. Like the last time you knew 2 of them, you knew right away you liked 2 of them.
Right.
Sticks with you. So here we go. This is mine, so don't really think you have to do it. I just put it up because it's part of the show. Team Cat Dad is back. This time they tackle what it means to be a hero as we introduce Admiral Hero and discover his important origin. I'm not kidding when I say this. Discover West. You knew this one was coming. Comic book. All right, here we go. 4 kids on an island where their greatest dreams come true, but they risk never going home. Welcome to the wonderful world of Maslow with his first issue of a 25-page comic for ages 7 and up. The 3rd comic book issue of Canadian superhero Thunder. Elsewhere is a loving, curated anthology of short pieces by independent creators from all over the world. A history/comedy novel of the final empire of Western Rome and what he has been up to since the fall of the former emperor. That's where I got it wrong. And what he has been up to since the fall of the Western civilization. Shimmering Basin 2 returns to Shajai with her gang of young adventurers as they take on new threats and new allies. A superhuman powers continue to emerge across the world. We return to 3 individuals who must face villains and life. And I think that's it. Oh, the Boots one. Here we go. Legacy of the View number 4, along with the spin-off series Boots. Chapters 1 through 4, a manga that blends shinobi, voodoo, and mechas. And that's what you got to pick from right now.
All right. So to be fair, at the beginning, some of these, like, I didn't know you were finishing one and then starting another one. So
I'm sorry, dude.
I was like, oh, I didn't know how. If we're on the
I
same
should
one or
put
not.
something like next or something.
Number 1 or number 2, yeah.
Yeah.
But the one that stood out to me, I think the most, was the second to last one. Said something about villains. But again, I got to be honest. Like, from my point of view, what intrigues me about a pitch is enough information to know, like, a character that's going to be involved and what their, conflict is going to be. So and so is trying to save the planet from that kind of thing. And a lot of these aren't saying that. They're just like, an adventure comic or, a Western comic. Okay, well, I mean, that's not enough information to intrigue me yet. So the one second to last said something about, at least fighting heroes and villains and superhero comic. they let me know that there was like something to work with. So
this is Empowered Volume 2. As superhuman powers continue to emerge across the world, we return 3 individuals who must face villains in life. That's the one, right?
yeah, so we've got the Who, 3 individuals, and the What, and they're superhuman, and who do they face? Some sort of villains. I mean, it's still a little generic, to be honest, but at least you've got the components there of what this is about. So if you're a hero, superhuman, kind of fan, that's enough to say, okay, I want to look at more. So I think that, in my opinion, a pitch should always involve those key factors, like who it's about. Because if you say, this is a post-apocalyptic story, like that's not about anyone. So I have no way to attach myself to it. That's about an environment, So if you say a young man must travel through a post-apocalyptic wasteland to find his mother, well, now I know the where and the who and the what they're after, and so I feel like that's important in a pitch. And sometimes it's hard to squeeze into that one sentence, but I feel like that's super helpful, to know what you're getting into immediately.
Yeah, and I completely agree. It's one of the reasons we're doing the show now. Let's see if the 3 things put together would get you more interested to read the rest of the page, because that's the whole idea, right? These 3 things should get you to look on their page. So here's the video of Empowered.
Hi everyone, Ed here from SOV Comics. Building a universe of superheroes has been a dream of mine for years. I don't think that it has to be made up of the kind of stories you see in mainstream comics either. I believe that real stories that speak to people are the important thing. With that in mind, I assembled a team of some of the best writers and artists in the business, and we all worked night and day to make these stories a reality.
Just so you know, Matt, this is a 3-minute video.
What we created was the Empowered. In this second volume, we follow 3 superhumans who have to live their lives as well as making a hard choice about their new abilities. Do they help others? Or do they do whatever they want with their power?
I was trying to give it the benefit of the doubt.
I wanted you to know, so I saw you. I saw, like I would have paused it on that intro. That 20 seconds of my life, I'll never get back.
So I do feel like that's something else I learned actually from watching YouTube videos is you get out there with energy first and you give them the hook, like, hey guys, we got a brand new comic, check it out, and then you might do your intro. But the whole company intro thing is not, attention getting. Even your company's probably not well known enough that people are gonna be like excited about, oh, it's a Marvel production, So that whole following the Marvel way of having that big intro is not super helpful. I actually used to do that myself with Action Line Studios opening logo, and I realized that like no one gives a shit. So either I'll put it at the end, or in this case, I didn't even use it on my pitch. I just jumped into, hey, here we are. And the thing is, like, as I was listening to this guy, he had a lot of things that really resonate with me, like having a good story over having just, a cool character, whatnot. And I do think those are points that, could be made at somewhere. But what we want to know is, I learned about this being a superhero comic fighting villains. So I really want to know a little bit more about who these characters are and what their villains are, maybe, and like how this is going to play out. And that's, I was hooked at the beginning, so now I need to know a little bit more information, and then we can move on to the detailed stuff down in the bottom, maybe.
The one thing I'll say about this is don't make it feel like a documentary, because I'm instantly going to not be interested because I don't know if I care. And it's just
Right.
true. Like I'll watch a documentary for Marvel very rarely. And it had to have been one of the movies I really liked. Guardians of the Galaxy was a good laugh, but I never sit through a whole thing for them explaining how they made the movie. It's not that I like the behind the scenes and to stay behind the scenes. So this
Right.
almost feels like you're going to ruin something for me I shouldn't know. Give it to me like a pitch of the show. I constantly tell people, and there is a disconnect. You could tell sometimes creators who don't do shows because they're not used to pitching, and pitching is so important. That's why we added it to this year. So now we're going to go to the final thing, and this is now going to be, close your eyes, because I'm going to scroll real fast. This is going to be based on just your eyes. So looking at the images, you're going to tell me which one you want to see. So I'm not even going to expand it so you can see the name. You just get that preview, because that's what you see on Twitter, that small preview.
Yeah, yeah.
And we've seen Primal, but that would be one picture I know would get people to click it.
So, and if you scroll back to that, I think, a good thing about that image is not obviously that it's just, a cute girl, but there's really high contrast. The background is clean and clear, and so your eye goes right to it. Whereas like the one right below it is really busy. There's a lot going on. So at small scale, it's hard to see, everything that might be going on. I mean, it's not bad, but I would have gotten rid of that background. And my page has the same problem. I think that this one above with the animals is nice with that black background. Nice, another nice high contrast. This one below it with the character coming out at us, that's exciting and interesting already. Very actiony. That one's a little hard to make out at small scale. I can tell it's a woman smiling, but I can't see all the little details. They kind of blend together.
And it's interesting when we start looking at these things, how much you realize they're so important.
Mm-hmm. That one looks boring, Kevin.
Well, I think it's a novel in all fairness. So novels generally don't have much art to show.
So then we have this. This one looks interesting, but the way it's cropped is really unfortunate. Like both the bottom characters and the top characters' faces are cut off.
Yeah, and that's straight from Twitter to prove the point. We're using Twitter links now.
Yeah. I think, again, we were just looking at this one. They should have just chosen one image, probably that middle one, and focused in on that, because that's a nice, well-done image. But with all three, they get even smaller and less busy.
There's the toilet one.
Yeah, I think that one works pretty well still.
The Legacy of the View.
I have no idea what I'm looking at there. Is that?
I like it because it's action, though. I do like action pictures.
I do too, but I can't figure out at small scale, like if that's a dude upside down or.
It is.
Okay.
Here, I can actually let me make this just a wee bit bigger because we're talking about this one now. If my computer will respond, there we go. So there you go. Does that make a little more sense?
Yeah. So it looks like there's he's flying through a window or something. There's shards of glass and looks like maybe even something going into his eye. Yeah.
And there's an evil, forbidding person behind everyone.
Yeah.
And then we have what looks like almost, I mean, this looks dope. It looks like RoboCop meets something badass.
Mad Max or, something mixed together. Yeah, that looks great. Nice attention-getting image. That's nice looking.
This one, Caffeinated Heart.
All right.
I guess if you're a coffee fan. See, I'm not into coffee, so it doesn't resonate with me. Marty and Spud. Now I think right away this is a mistake because your campaign picture. And this could just be a Twitter thing. Like, let's take a quick look on his campaign. But if you have
that's really how it is.
Yeah. So sometimes you do get your pre-launch mixed with your regular campaign's image, and it doesn't update. You have to go to the debugger for Facebook and the validation for Twitter. Just look up those two terms, and you'll update it. But yeah, having it that it launched on the 12th when you're on the 23rd, you need to update your image.
Yeah.
You could have now on Kickstarter, but again, it doesn't, like you said, there's nothing there now. I don't understand what I'm looking at. and here's that.
I guess that's an eyeball and an ear, but it's kind of missing some things. But that one's terrible.
It's not terrible. After the show, do you feel like there's some things you want to change now that we've taken a deeper look?
Oh yeah, absolutely. I feel like I used the cover image because it was the cover of the book, but that may not necessarily have been the best choice because it's not high contrast enough. So yeah, Blood and Fire.
This is all just coming soon. I was just
okay.
scrolling through while we were talking because we're running on time because of the middle of it.
Right.
Shark of War's got a dope cover, man. That looks really cool.
Yeah, that's exciting. Yeah.
So what was the one that weren't coming soon that really drew you in for Image?
Well, that Cyberpunk, this one here, yeah, that one is really like, oh, what's that about? I think the other thing that intrigued me about that is not only does it look really pro and attention getting, but it's also painterly and outside of the comic book realm. So now I'm curious, like, is this even a comic book or what is it? You know?
You want to find out?
Sure.
Let's do the video.
Hello, everybody. This is Preston Poulter here to talk about my comic book, Lords of Iron. This is absolutely a love letter to the great giant robot animes I grew up with as a kid. I also wanted to give it a very hard science edge because, look, I'm tired of kind of space fantasy and really just having each planet be like a little nation on one big planet. I mean, the reality is if they're hundreds of light years away, you can't just talk to them on the telephone, know what I'm saying? But when you're up there in space, look, you already got a pressure suit. That's going to be humanoid shape. Put a bit more thrusters on it, some weapon systems, some armor. What do you got? Big giant robot. In this comic book, I did a Make 100 for RB White.
Sorry, it wasn't turning off for some reason.
I was all excited about that. I'd like to see their campaign because I just got the sense that that cover looks nothing like what we're going to get inside. That's another great looking cover. That's a painterly cover. These are great covers.
I'm not seeing any internals on us. Oh, here we go.
Oh, here we go. That's looking good.
That does look good. That looks dope.
Yeah. Dude, he should have just opened with this.
Right?
That's a lot of word bubbles.
I'm wordy. I'll never complain. I'm a very wordy writer.
Okay.
I do think they could take their font size down and give more room for breathing.
Yeah, there's a lot of space between the lines too.
Yeah, so there is a lettering trick you could do. Just go smaller your font, and then you could have it. But the art's amazing.
Yeah, the art is fantastic. Like that's a beautiful shot. I think he just should have open with this, let people know what they're getting. I mean, I appreciate the enthusiasm about the genre of sci-fi, but again, like I was hooked at that image. I wanted to know more about what this is, and you're not telling me that right away. You're telling me about why you're making it and why you started this book, and what was your motivations and all that stuff. And if I would have saw more of this right away, I would have instantly jumped on it and backed it. I still might because it does look pretty damn badass. But man, put that in the video right away.
Yeah, I think that from what it feels like from the video, what we did see is that he's leaning on alt covers way too much. Excuse me.
Lords of Iron value campaign. Get the first issue for $10 as well as exciting variant covers. Again, going back to what we were saying, I still don't know what this comic is about. I know it's
so here I'll read it.
That's it.
I'll read it to you. This is, and you could make this a pitch. Lord of Irons launches a new science fiction universe filled with characters that longtime readers will be familiar with. So now he's trying to tell you that you needed to have read something. That's always dangerous.
Yeah.
Issue 1 showcases a future vision filled with giant humanoid death machines, plasma bayonets. There we go. Thank you. Space battles, asteroid mining, and an engineered race called the V's, who, hailing from Venus, have decided to stake their claim on the solar system. See, I could make that a pitch. I could actually tighten that up and make it a pitch, something along the lines of join this future vision of humanoid death machines, plasma bayonets, space battles against the V's who are from Venus, who are trying to claim the solar system as their own. That would be a pitch.
Yeah, I agree. I just noticed that Chuck Obach is doing the cover on that piece, and Chuck is on my team as well. He's an amazing colorist.
Yeah. Oh, the colors in that, the way he grabs the.
I think that thing said he did the interior colors. Scroll up just a little bit. The interior art team of Jake Bilbao and Chuck Obach gave us dynamic main retail cover, which this campaign offers at $10. So yeah, Chuck's doing the interior colors, and that explains a lot.
And back to this, so you guys can see what we're talking about. Those colors are amazing. Jumps off the page. This is a good looking book. You guys should definitely give it.
I'm definitely backing this for a couple of reasons now, because like I said, Chuck is on my team as well, and I want to support the stuff he's working on. Looks like they're struggling to get that goal, so I'm going to go back that and give him my support and share it. But yeah, regardless of that, I still think that they need to work on the pitch. The pitch doesn't tell me anything about it, and that sentence we saved that till now. You're down in the paragraph section. We missed it in the title. We missed it in the pitch. We missed it in the video, and so that's a lot of times that you didn't get, the full intrigue.
Yeah.
So
I agree. And a few things to also remember on things like this, guys. You only get one chance. On this show, we'll go further. You might have lost it, and look at how amazing that art is. I agree with Matt. You have to lean in on what's great about it. And what's great about this show is that Matt was on it. And we're going to be closing out right now. So before Matt goes, tell us about your campaign one more time as we show it off.
So my campaign is called Mythica'. It's about demon hunting in World War I, and it follows a Scottish soldier and an Irish spy working together to try and fight demons while being caught up in the middle of World War I. We are currently just about $300 away from goal. We'd love to get your support. You can check it out. And we have guest artist Alex Sinclair on the cover. We have naughty covers available being colored by Chuck Michael Obach. We have variant covers. And most importantly, we have all the back issues from the previous issues that you can pick up either one at a time as add-ons, or you can get a package that includes them all. So please come check us out. And you can also follow on Facebook at Action Line Studios or at Matt Campbell Art.
This looks amazing. I thank you for your time today. Sorry about the technical issues.
The power outage that was
it literally took the power away from me. All right, we'll be back next week. Support Cat Dad and Supermom too while I'm here. Gonna pitch real quick for mine.
Absolutely.
Get that book, and we will see you guys next week. We're out of here. Just remember to share and back at least one of these campaigns for $1 and make dreams come true. And know there are paper shortages and there are issues getting these products made, so be patient with creators.